Okay, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to EPLW. It's Saturday. It can mean only for one thing. It's time for our game week preview. I'm here. My name's Joe, and I've got Roz with me, Giuseppe Rossi, but he prefers Paolo Rossi. But you know, Roz, how you doing this morning?
Yeah, not bad. Paolo's better, right? Paolo scored a hat trick in a World Cup semi-final, was it, or quarter-final? It was against Brazil, I think. And Giuseppe Rossi, well, that's about right. So,
what have you had for breakfast this morning?
I haven't had breakfast. I've just whacked some. I know, right? I've had 2 cups of coffee.
Oh,
on my third. Got a full fried up. Liquid breakfast. But then I've also just put some sausages in the oven on a low heat. A couple of sausages. So gonna have a sausage sandwich before the Millwall game, as is tradition.
So we are on a bit of a tight schedule here. I don't want you to burn your sausages. So we should get straight to it.
Put them on such low temperature. I'll whack them up when I go downstairs. Don't worry about it.
Low and slow, low and slow, low and slow. Let the good times roll with low and slow. Yeah, this is EPLW, and if you like what you're seeing, like the video, subscribe to this channel so you never miss a stream when we go live, because it's always so entertaining. It's like rewatching The Matrix 20 years later, which is what I did last night, actually, which was great. So expect lots of Matrix references today. We'll kick off then with the first game of this weekend. We're just going to do 8 games today, Roz, because it's a double game week. There's a load of extra games in midweek. We're going to do this show again Sunday night or Monday, so people can get a good old preview of all the games without us rushing through. We're going to do 8 games today, then the 4 today, the 4 tomorrow. We'll start off with Leicester-Liverpool at the King Power Stadium today at 12:30. And the big news going into this one is that James Justin is out for the rest of the season, which broke a lot of fantasy football managers' hearts yesterday. But alongside that, Castagna, Pratt and Fofana are all still out, and Liverpool without Fabinho, Ben Davies and Ozan Kabak. Is it time for them to make their debuts in the Liverpool team in the Premier League, Ross?
You'd hope so. You'd really hope so. I think the game at the beginning of February, Kabak had just kind of come into the country. I don't know if they could have got his permit sorted in time, or whether he just wasn't, he hadn't trained enough with the first team to really slot him in there. I think the biggest thing about that, despite Kabak and Ben Davies both being natural centre halves, is actually that if you put one or both of them in, then it gives you license to push Jordan Henderson back into his preferred position. If you license to push Fabinho back into his preferred position. So even if you have one of them, you're getting a new midfielder as well, which I think is absolutely crucial for Liverpool at this point in their season.
Yeah, the last time Leicester won this fixture was back in 2017. It was Craig Shakespeare's first game in charge after they sacked Ranieri. So they haven't won a meeting between the two teams since then. 12 of the past 17, that is, that Liverpool have won, and the rest have been draws. So Leicester only managed 1 win and 4 points in 4 league matches. They are dipping, and they've lost 5 home league games this season, 1 more than the whole of last season. So, I mean, where do you see this one going? Predictions? Should we get straight in there with some predictions?
Let's go for it. So, I think Jamie Vardy's back for this game. Back from the injury that kept him out for 2 or 3 games. What I think of when I think of this fixture is that, do you remember that Jamie Vardy volley?
Yeah.
Was it when Leicester won the league? Was it the season after?
That was
But it was when they won the league, wasn't it? It was just unreal goal. But like you say, Liverpool's recent record against Leicester is much better than that. But they've lost 2 in a row at Anfield.
Yeah. But this is at the King Power Stadium.
I think if you've got Vardy back, again, makeshift centre halves or new centre halves making their debuts, I don't think. James Justin is a huge loss, but you've got the likes of Thomas that can slot in there. You've got, losing your left back isn't as crucial as losing 2 of your centre halves.
Yeah. So you're saying
So
Leicester?
I'm gonna say that Brendan Rodgers is gonna go back to Anfield and say that you should have never sacked me.
Roz, it's at the King Power. Listen up, come on.
It's too early in the morning.
Why do you think I was telling you about Leicester's home form? Right, come on. Shape up. You're meant to be the one or something, aren't you? So
Right,
that's my first
okay.
Matrix reference. So go on, what are you saying?
But I'm still going for Leicester at the King Power. And we're going to go 3-1 Leicester. Jamie Vardy to score 2.
Oh, 3-1 with Vardy. We've actually got someone's commenting here. Oh, it's Mus. Hey, Mus, if you're watching, one of our EPLW chums. We'll see you tomorrow night. He reckons Leicester 1, Liverpool 2. Oh, interesting. Maybe that's because he's a big fan of Mo Salah. We'll never know because he's not here to justify it. And we'll move on quickly enough that he doesn't have time to type a comment. I'm going to say 2-0 Leicester. I'm just going to go for it. Just balls out.
Nice. Love it.
And I reckon it's going to be one of those days where Maddison turns up. And that's why it's going to be 2-0 Leicester. They've actually had, do you know what? One last point on that. Leicester have had 10 pens this season in the league. 10. It's the most in the league. And they've scored 8 of them. So if you're a gambling man, Leicester to win a penalty with a shaky new Liverpool defence set up, maybe, you know, who knows. Okay, let's move on to everyone's highlight probably of this game week. It's Crystal Palace Burnley at Selhurst Park at 3:00. Sorry, Palace fans. Sorry, Burnley fans, if you're watching. But this one, I mean, not many people getting excited about this one, are they, Roz?
I mean, you've got two very solid teams, two very admired teams, two very admired managers who like to play a 4-4-2, who like to have that sort of low block, 10 men behind the ball. I'm expecting a 0-0. I'm sorry.
You're expecting a 0-0?
I know Palace probably have better players man for man. I just can't see either of these teams having the ambition to actually do anything special.
Yeah, Palace sit 13th in the table on 29 points. Burnley, 8 points clear of relegation, but they are 17th on 23 points. Fulham are closest with 15. No Zaha in the game. That's only going to make it less interesting for me. Joel Ward's the only player to return from injury this week. Burnley should be welcoming back Nick Pope and Jack Cork. Yeah, I mean, 0-0 I think is about right. I'm going to, I don't know, you know, Palace never do well in these kind of games, so I reckon Burnley will shade it. But let's put in these predictions. I'll just type it. Sorry, still feel a bit out of practice, Roz. It's been too long. 0-0 from Roz, and who's going to be your key man in that one, Roz? If it's 0-0.
My key man in the 0-0.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for me. I better leave now to make it to the crowd on time. No, Ben May.
Me. Okay, cool. And I've gone for 1-0 Burnley. I reckon Matai Vidra will score that goal. Because Chris Wood's a doubt. So, I mean, I reckon he either starts or at least comes on. And I don't know, I fancy a little bit of a gamblish one there today at Selhurst. Okay, let's move on to... This should be a pretty boring one. Man City Spurs at the Etihad, 5:30. Where do you see this one going, Roz? Let me just give you a bit of team news, actually. Aguero could be available. We don't know. As usual, Pep's quite coy in his press conferences. He's missed 11 games due to coronavirus reasons. That is the kind of the official line. And you wonder if maybe he's been affected, like, you know, significantly badly compared to other players in the squad. Excuse me. Ruben Dias and Rodrigo are expected to recover in time from illness and injury, respectively. But Fernandinho will miss out with a thigh problem. Jose Mourinho and Gareth Bale. Mourinho says Bale's not available for this one, but if you follow Gareth Bale on Instagram, you would probably think the opposite because Bale. I don't know if you saw this post on Insta, Roz.
I've seen the interviews. I haven't seen the post.
Yeah, so Bale's post is basically a picture of him in training saying, and it's underneath it says, "Great session today, ready to go," or something like that. And then in the press conference, Mourinho's like, "He had a scan yesterday. We don't know if he's ready for today." Well, I'm not meant to do impressions. What am I doing? You're the impressions guy.
Learn a bit much from there. But he sort of went, "Oh yeah, the scan," and the scan showed nothing. But Gareth just isn't feeling right. And then you never know from Mourinho if it's like him trying to dig out the player, or if he's just trying to sort of dodge the question a bit.
Yeah.
But it was when he wasn't even on the bench against Everton midweek. And they asked him why it's an injury, and he said, "Not an injury, he's just not feeling great." And it's like, well, okay, is he ill? No, it's just not feeling great.
He doesn't
like,
fancy
did
it.
Gareth sort of wake up one day and go, "Oh, I was given the number 9 shirt. I thought I was actually going to play. It's just a bit rubbish, isn't it? I miss playing golf in Madrid." So, like...
I mean, given the weather in London right now, I'd rather be in Madrid, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think
100%.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Surely this one. I mean, do you know what? Like, what one of the 2 losses that Man City have suffered this season was against Spurs. Spurs did them 2-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So there is something there, and there's obviously the Pep and Mourinho rivalry that has, transcended football over the years. Where do you see this going? Can you look anywhere beyond a Man City win?
Firstly, can I just check? Is it Anfield or is it at King Power Stadium?
It's at the Etihad.
Right.
Roz.
Thought I'd double check that.
Stop trying to blow my mind.
Yeah. I mean, my favourite ever Pep Jose match was... Do you remember when there were like 4 El Clasicos in 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, you've got 30 seconds to talk about Spanish football. This is EPLW. I'm not having it. Go.
Well, it links to Adebayor and I think Michael Esney as well. So, Premier League players there. But I think it was a 1-1 draw. It's the best side in the world, Barcelona, and Pep just couldn't handle Mourinho's antics, which was effectively kick the hell out of the other team. There's a moment where Adebayor choke slams Sergio Busquets. It's a beautiful moment. I can't stand it.
I know. I do know the game you're talking about.
There's also the Barcelona Inter game. Famously, if there's one manager that can kind of, on his day, if his team kind of do what he tells them to do, outskill Pep with worse teams and a lesser quality caliber of player, it is Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, a certain kind of housery comes to mind that Mourinho might employ.
Some kind of housery.
Yeah. If you're watching, just get in the comments and give us a prediction for this game, and we'll see how it matches up to me and Roz, and then you can join us tomorrow on EPLW here on this channel, which you should follow and allow notifications to see if your prediction was right. If you beat me and Roz, let's see. Back to the game now, Man City Spurs. Little plug there, mid-analysis.
Very good. Yeah, it's like one of those adverts in the Truman Show. Remember the Truman Show where they sort of do the adverts sort of mid-conversation?
Yeah.
Very sly. I liked it.
Are you feeling a bit paranoid today?
Mate, since that Anfield King of Power thing, I've felt really... Yeah. I think this will actually be tighter than a lot of people think. I think City will edge it, but I think there'll be a contentious decision that Jose will go on about afterwards.
Okay.
And it will be a moment of stupidity from, I'm going to say, Serge Aurier. I reckon he's going to give away a penalty, and it will be in the 88th minute.
This
and
is such a
Pep's celebrations are going to be sickening.
Oh, what a detailed prediction without a score. I can't believe it.
Oh, I said 1-0.
Oh, sorry. 1-0, sorry. I got lost in all the detail. I completely missed the score.
And Pep will be wearing a hoodie. And if you want, I can give you a transcription of Jose Mourinho's post-match, and I won't do that yet. I'll do that on.
No, I want to hear that. I want to. Is it going to be what's written on Pep Guardiola's hoodie? Because that's usually covered in loads of rubbish.
Oh yeah. Do you remember the interview where Pep was like, sorry, it was Spanish football again. But
oh my God, this is unacceptable.
No. Jose said some sort of.
No me gusta, Roz. No me gusta.
And then Pep said, sort of walked into his press conference and said, "Listen, in here, Jose Mourinho is the effing boss. He's the effing boss here." Which I didn't think was that bad, but apparently he sort of went back into his Barcelona training room and got a standing ovation for standing up to Jose like that. So I reckon Pep's gonna have a hoodie which says, "I'm the effing boss."
Do you reckon that? I reckon that'll go down well with one of his political statement Catalonian ribbons as well, potentially.
Yeah.
I think you're being a bit kind with the 1-0. I reckon it's going to be more like 4-0. After the way, I'm going to say 4-1. The way Man City put Liverpool to bed last week, I think they've got. I mean, I can see Spurs putting up a resistance, but Man City strike early, it's over. Mourinho's just going to sit deep and try and consolidate, and Man City come onto him. And if Aguero does come back, if Aguero's ready to play, he's going to rip those guys to shreds. And if it's not Aguero, it's Jesus, it's Sterling, it's Bernardo Silva. You know, they've got Phil Foden, they've got the Premier League Player of the Month, Ilkay Gundogan. You know, they're just all firing on all cylinders at the moment. So, but I'm
just trying to work out if in any future prediction shows you're ever actually going to back Spurs.
No way.
It's like Joe's enjoying talking about Man City a lot here. Why is that? Oh, it's because they've got Spurs. No one would ever sort of blush over Man City that way. But yeah.
Well, look, they're the lesser of two evils in this situation, so we'll go for Man City. We've got a prediction in the comments as well, 2-2. So we'll see how that weighs up. But who's your key man in that one? Who's scoring that 1-0 pen? Or are you going to put Aurier as the key man to instigate the situation?
Yeah. You do a sort of... I'm going to say that there was a midweek interview where Pep Guardiola said because City are so terrible at penalties, that Edison could take the next one.
Wow.
I don't take that seriously in the slightest, but why not? If they keep a clean sheet against Spurs and it's 1-0, let's say Edison man of the match, and there's a chance he might take a penalty just because all their outfield players can't take them, apparently.
Why don't you just go all out and say Edison 1-0?
Yeah, fine. Edison 1-0.
You heard it here first, guys. If you're gambling, put £1 on Edison to score against Spurs.
John, this is shocking. You've had 3 gambling references already. It's free watershed. Oh
yeah, I shouldn't be talking about gambling so much, should I? But I'm talking about.
You're like Ray Winston, Ray Winston on a Saturday afternoon, who sort of bigs it up, then really catchy, then just goes, "Oh yeah, when the time stops, stop.
Yeah,
just gamble responsibly. But gamble.
Oh my God, gambling adverts are horrendous, aren't they? Some of them are just like. So there's one particular one which it tries to kind of play to the smart people. It's like, hey, I'm going to this cool club round the corner. It's like a secret entrance with no sign on the door. What's in there? Oh, it's loads of cool technology and millennials like betting with all their cash. La la la. Oh, it's an exchange bet. You wouldn't get it if you were like stupid, but because you're clever, you totally get it, and you should gamble this way, right? And then there's another company that has another advert that goes, oh yeah, my mate down the pub, he always just goes for it and whacks a tenner on anything, and my other mate, he studies all the form. And anyway, I found out those two companies, Those two companies are the same company.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, outrageous. Anyway,
Can I just say that in all the EFL and the Premier League, all 92 teams, there are very few clubs that don't have a shirt sponsor that is a gambling or money loaning company, which is morally disgusting. One of the clubs that doesn't is Millwall Football Club.
oh dear.
And it's one of the very few chances as a Millwall fan that I get to have the moral high ground.
Not if it comes to some sort of chocolate debate, though, because who's heard of Husky chocolate?
Oh, it's beautiful. They gave away free chocolate milkshakes for the first day of last season, I think it was, when they started.
Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
We've had another prediction. Jack in the comments says Man City to win 3-1. Gundogan to tear up this double game week. He's going to put him triple captain on fantasy.
Wow.
Wow, that could be an impressive return. But
I
will
really hope he doesn't play now.
Will Pep's rotation destroy your dreams, Jack, in the comments? We can only find out by watching the fabulous, fantastic EPL. You're watching
Aymeric Laporte in a number 10.
Yeah, in a full 6. He's just going to wander up the park. They're just going to put 10 men on the pitch this week. Pep's rotation has come to like... His rotation has got so ridiculous that he's just like, I'll just put a 10 out today. We don't need 11. It's only Spurs.
It's just like, so there will be no striker. Oh, so who's going to play in that role? Is it going to be Phil Foden? No striker. just no.
Yeah.
We like to keep the ball.
We're going to go for a 4-5 officially.
We're tangenting all over the place, but did you happen to watch it was Man City in the Cup, or yeah, it was Man City in the Cup.
I don't know anything about the FA Cup. Sorry.
Foden players, Man City Swansea, and Martin Keown was on commentary. And I'm sure you love him as a player, but I have to say he is one of the most dull, boring.
I like him. I like him as a
pundits
pundit.
and commentators.
I mean, on
like
TV, he's not great.
Dry.
Listening to paint dry. That is outrageous.
That's more boring than watching paint dry.
No.
Him and Mike Lowen are just like, and also that he's just like trying to be a very well-spoken pundit, but actually was a bit of a something housery player. So
hang on a minute. Wait.
You're talking about.
Wait. I won't have this against Martin Keown. If you I'll granted on TV during the actual game, he's not great at that. He's got some learning to do, like all pundits do. But on radio and in discussions like pre-game and stuff, he's awesome. He gives you a great insight into what it's like to be a pro. He gives lots of interesting stories about Wenger as well. I don't know if you hear him on radio, for example. So leave Keown alone. Plus, do you remember what he did to Van Nistelrooy?
Yes. So every time there's a penalty or a red card, he says, well, I think it's disgusting behaviour. I think it's shocking. These players are role models. I was a kid when the Van Nistelrooy moment happened. I was like, why is the grown-up acting like a toddler? Why is the big man hitting him?
Yeah, well, I mean...
I can't stand it. But anyway, this brings back round to Man City, because it's Martin Keown commentating on a Man City game. And I think it was Phil Foden, or someone was playing in this false line. Martin Keown called it a fake 9, which is just the most, like... I don't know, it seems so much more negative.
Yeah.
It seems so much more like a sort of English pundit talking about all these cultured systems, all their European tactics. It's like, he plays a fake 9.
A fake 9.
Not even a real striker, a fake 9.
I think it's probably him having a dig as a defender, calling it a fake. I'm not going to call it a false 9. I'm calling it a fake 9. Anyway, from a fake 9 to a potentially more real 9. But I don't know where I'm going with this. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Amex Stadium. Yeah. Ollie Watkins, he's a real 9. Right, okay, we got there. Adam Webster is a fitness doubt for Brighton because of the ankle injury he sustained at Burnley last weekend. Davy Prupper has recovered from a groin problem and is likely to return to the matchday squad. Aston Villa, it's just Courtney House and Wesley, the only players ruled out on long term. Morgan Sanson still hasn't had his full debut. And Douglas Luiz looking to get back into the team. Brighton looking to complete a league double over Villa for the first ever time. Yeah, where do you see this one going?
I'm going for Aston Villa. I thought they were absolutely immense against Arsenal. Sorry to bring that up, but I'd also like to point. I forgot to mention this on the last show. A couple of shows ago, I said my England 11, if you remember, and I said Tyrone Mings, and I didn't even talk about Harry Maguire. If anyone watched that day's football, which was Harry Maguire being at fault for, in my opinion, 2 of the Everton goals, and Tyrone Mings putting in an absolutely solid performance against Arsenal. I stand by that. I think he's an immense player. I'm going to go for... it'll be tight. It'll be a 1-0 Villa win.
1-0?
With Ollie Watkins to get the goal there.
Yeah, Watkins. I'd say I'm actually going to back Brighton in this one, Roz. Brighton have been doing the job on teams, and they toppled Liverpool. They've been, they're showing a bit of form. They need to start showing the form now, really, don't they? I think, they've climbed out of the relegation zone. They're 25 points from 23 games. I don't know. I've just got a sneaky suspicion about Brighton, and I'm not sure who my player is going to be though. This sounds really professional, doesn't it? Okay. I'm gonna go for a team performance.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna say I can give you some tips if you like. Lewis Dunk got a goal the other day.
You love Lewis
Aaron
Dunk.
Connolly, I think, has been quite good recently.
Yeah.
Neil Maupay, who famously tore Arsenal apart.
Wow, leave me alone. Take your claws out. Okay, I am going to move myself slightly this way because the sun, and we're going to get on to Sunday's games. At St Mary's Stadium, midday, Southampton against Wolves. Takumi Minamino is available for Southampton after being cup-tied for Thursday's win at Wolves. He's obviously on loan from Liverpool. Alex Jankovic is banned after that Man United incident when he got sent off in the second minute. Poor guy. While Alex McCarthy is likely to return. Wolves are going to monitor Ryan, Ait-Nouri and Johnny, who both featured for the side this week, but they're sort of being eased back in after injury. And the long-standing injuries, Marcel, Jimenez, Willy Bolly and Daniel Podence. Santo is likely to restore several players to the starting lineup after making 6 changes midweek during the FA Cup. So, what do you reckon for this one, Roz?
I think Southampton won their FA Cup tie, and that was much needed. I think a bit of pressure was lifted, perhaps. It was nice to see Danny Ings get on the score sheet as well. I fancy that to be a bit of a turning point in the mentality of that dressing room. So I'm going to go for a Southampton win here. Also, Wolves just really haven't been at it. Besides that, Arsenal. I'm going to go for Danny Ings and Southampton to win 2-1.
I don't even know what to say. You're literally using every possible chance to dig out Arsenal today. I'm trying to remain like upbeat and stuff. Every time I get back to that kind of happy-go-lucky presentery guy, you come in and you tear me down again with an Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, okay. And now I've lost my focus, Roz. Southampton Wolves. I don't even know. Do you know what? I don't care. I'm going to put 0-0. Okay, right. Okay. The next.
I'll put him.
Plus, I've got people in the comments digging out Arsenal as well. A good performance against Arsenal isn't exactly impressive, is it? Shut up, Jack. Right. Okay. Next up, West Brom versus Man United, 2:00 at the Hawthorns. Let's have a look then at this one. Grady Diangana is back, so if they've got any hope, it's probably on that. Okay, Yakuslu is pushing for a first start after making his debut from the bench last weekend. Man United were without Paul Pogba, shame, who has a thigh injury, but Eric Bailly is back in training after a 6-match absence. Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, Edinson Cavani, and Scott Tominay all looking to start after being subs in midweek. I mean, is it even worth talking about this one, Roz?
I'm gonna go. Should we just go straight to a score prediction? Because I mean, I think the more I see the squads of the likes of Fulham, the likes of West Brom, they're just Championship players. I don't think they have enough to stay up at all. Maybe they got promoted too soon. I think West Brom are similar to Norwich in that they're too good for the Championship, not good enough for the Premier League, and we're slowly seeing that gulf kind of increase. And it's only sides like Leeds that are actually taking teams on. West Brom finished above Leeds, by the way. West Brom finished first, and Leeds finished second. So I see West Brom going down. I see them conceding. I'll be nice and say 4. Let's go for 4, and Edinson Cavani to score in his third Premier League match in a row. So 4-0, Edinson Cavani.
Okay, I'm going to go big on this one. I mean, I reckon it could be 5 or 6. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to be conservative,
okay.
And we'll go for Bruno Fernandes. Sorry, were you?
I thought you were going to go really big and back. I thought you were going to go really big and back West Brom.
West Brom, yeah, 1-0 West Brom. No, of course not. That would be stupid. Okay, next up, Arsenal Leeds 4:30 tomorrow, super duper Sunday at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal will be without Thomas Partey, who strained his hamstring last weekend at Villa. Tierney still sidelined. Bern Leno and Louise are available after serving their 1-match bans. Shut up. Leeds are monitoring Calvin Phillips, who came off in Monday's win over Crystal Palace with a calf injury. Marcelo Bielsa doesn't expect any of the injured members of his squad to return. So, the last time Arsenal hosted Leeds in the league in 2004, they won 5-0 at Highbury. The Gunners are unbeaten against Leeds in the past 8 meetings in all competitions, and Leeds have failed to score in each of their last 3 matches against Arsenal. All pretty irrelevant stuff, but it is in Arsenal's favour, right? Yeah? No?
I think the last time you beat them, you had Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, when he came back after playing for New York Red Bulls, he came back in this fixture, didn't he? I'm fairly sure he scored one of his 2 or 3 goals.
Was it against Leeds?
Was against Leeds.
I remember the big one against Forest, but at the Emirates. But
maybe he just got subbed on against Leeds. Either one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna lay off Arsenal. I've upset you, and
only because it's Leeds.
So.
Yeah. You've been like battering Arsenal all through this pod, and now it's Arsenal Leeds. It's like, for you, it's the lesser of 2 evils all of a sudden. Arsenal are lovely and Arsenal are fine. Oh, because Bielsa's turned up. Bielsa and Leeds, the big bad Bielsa. What are you going to say about him this week?
Well, where do you want me to start? I mean, you know what? My biggest problem with Bielsa is actually the press's reaction to Bielsa. It's very little to do with the man himself. If you're talking about Marcelo Bielsa as a guy, well, he's back to racist in his last 3 interviews about the subject, which to me makes him a pretty morally disgusting person, like shocking views and shocking decisions on the Kiko Casilla case. And the fact that he never looks an interviewer in the eye, which I just think is just bad manners, unless you're autistic, but I don't think he is, you know.
Fair enough.
Like, whenever he's sort of giving you an interview, he just looks like he's too important to he's like, well, I think that we. I'm just like, just look at them,
Do you think?
you bastard.
Do you think there's an element of because he has a translator because he doesn't want to be mistranslated? Do you think there's an element of
That's what he
that?
said.
Why he doesn't look at the interviewer because he's just trying to focus on what's being said and he, you know, I
think you've got to. You know, you can link it to Pochettino when he first came to the country and he used to translate when he was at Southampton. Pochettino is probably one of the most likable guys in football, unless you're an Arsenal fan. But you know, just a seemingly nice guy.
You said you were going to lay off Arsenal.
Sorry. But Pochettino, he's like pretty nervous about his English, and he didn't want to sort of embarrass himself. But he learned the language in a couple of years, and it was a general embarrassment thing. He also sort of turned it on the press and said, well, you're going to misconstrue my words. You know, he's used a translator, and as I sort of referred to earlier, he's in 3 interviews about a racist incident, he's referred to the racist as the victim. So if he's talking about being misconstrued using a translator, he's not doing a very good job of it. But it's not about Bielsa. It's not about Bielsa. It's...
Let's talk football.
It's about the way that the press talk about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that this one will finish 3-2. It's going to be a big score, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be end to end. It's going to be an exciting game.
If you're watching this, if you're currently watching and get in the comments and give us a prediction, and we'll mention it. See if you can out-predict Roz and myself, which is easy enough, let me tell you, because we get most of these predictions wrong, don't we? You're watching EPLW. I'm Joe, he's Roz, and we've got a couple more games left to look at, or maybe only just one, actually. Yeah, one more game to look at after this one. If you like what you're seeing, like the video, subscribe to the channel and allow notifications. So you're saying 3-2, Roz, to who?
Yeah, 3-2 to Arsenal, and I'm going to go for Bukayo Saka.
3-2 to Arsenal, you think? Okay, interesting. I reckon... It's a tough call, isn't it? Like, my heart says Arsenal, but my head says ain't going to happen without Partey. I reckon Leeds will definitely outrun us. That is a given. And I think if we've got the likes of Xhaka starting in centre mid, and he's going to get outrun, and he's going to get petulant. I can see him having a flare up, at least a yellow card for Xhaka. I'm going to go with a conservative 4-4. I think 4-4 is a fair representation of what might happen. And I hope it is a 4-4 because that'll be very entertaining for everyone. And we'll have a lot to talk about straight after it on EPLW tomorrow night with Matt and Mus. My main man in that is going to be Martin Odegaard, who was the silver lining to Arsenal's very large cloud of the last few weeks. Okay, last game we're looking at today then is Everton-Fulham at Goodison Park at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Everton will be without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who suffered a minor hamstring strain on Wednesday in the FA Cup. Jordan Pickford remains sidelined, but James Rodriguez and Andre Gomez are both fit. Fulham are weighing up whether to increase Josh... Is it Josh Maja or Maya?
I've always said Maja.
Josh, so I'm wrong on both counts. Fulham are weighing up whether to increase Josh Maja's involvement after his brief debut last week. Kearney and Congolo remain the only absentees, according to Scott Parker. So, even without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton should be too strong for Fulham, right?
Yeah, I think Fulham recently have done a good job of keeping the scorelines low. They've had a few clean sheets in recent weeks and a few sort of only conceding the odd goal. So I think it will be tight. I think defensively, Anderson coming in for Scott Parker's team there has sort of brought up a little bit of solidarity. However, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Everton. They'll miss Calvert-Lewin, but I expect someone like Sigurdsson, who's been superb since he's come in. Yeah. in the last couple of months, sort of since James' first injury.
Yeah.
Sigurdsson's still turning up for Everton.
He's really he's really playing for his shirt, isn't he, Sigurdsson?
Yeah, well, it's interesting the amount of positions that he's kind of played. So, like I said, when James got injured initially, he sort of slotted in on that left-hand side. He can play behind the striker. He hasn't got as much pace, although he's never really that kind of player. So he can drop back and be more of a sort of midfield free. And at times, we've even seen him sort of play through the middle this season. So lots of strings to his bow. Did you see the ball that he played against Spurs for the 5th goal? Absolutely glorious little chipped ball.
Oh yeah, in the FA Cup. Yeah.
For a Bernard finish. And I think he got 3 assists of the 5 that Everton scored that day. So he's in sensational form.
He's a baller.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with what you're saying there. I'm gonna go with an Everton win as well, but I think it'll be a bit more comprehensive. I'll say 3-0. And I can see maybe Richarlison will finally turn up, because surely he'll be replacing Calvert-Lewin through the middle. So I'm going to say 3-0 Everton, Richarlison, the main man. And that, my friend, Rosaldinho, that completes our game week preview. Thank you for watching, if you've been watching. Oh, we've got one more prediction that's come in. Jack in the comments says 2-2 Arsenal leads. Interesting. Very similar prediction to, well, somewhere between what we both predicted, 4-4 and 3-2. I'll run through the predictions before we say goodbye. Here they are in full. Okay. If you want to take note of these predictions, then please do, and you can roast us in the comments tomorrow when we probably get most of them wrong. Leicester Liverpool, Roz said 3-1, I said 2-0. Palace Burnley, Roz said 0-0, I said 1-0 to Burnley. Man City Spurs, Roz said 1-0, I said 4-1. Brighton Villa, Roz said 0-1, I said 1-0. Southampton Wolves, Roz said 2-1, I said 0-0. West Brom Man U, Roz said 0-4, I said 0-5. Arsenal Leeds, Roz said 3-2, I said 4-4. And Everton Fulham, Roz said 1-0, I said 3-0. This has been EPLW. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. for our regular show with Matt and Mus. Thank you very much. Goodbye.